Welcome everyone to Bet What Happens Live. We are live at the 2-minute warning of this wild card round weekend game between the Buffalo Bills and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Buffalo leads 21-0. I'm Nick Giffen, predictive analyst here at Action Network, alongside my co-host Grant Neifert of Scores and Odds, and special guest, big treat to have the number one most accurate projector, Sean Kerner, here with us. So, Sean, I'm going to start with you. Sorry, Grant, but I'm going to start with Sean because he's the special guest. So, Sean, what are your thoughts so far in this game and on potential bets?
Well, it looks like it's going to be a blowout. The Bills, the live spread is what, 20...
Yeah.
24.5 right now. So, it seems counterintuitive, but I'm thinking Najee Harris over right off the bat. Before the game, Tyrell Dodson was ruled out. He's one of the Bills' best run defenders. He's their linebacker. I think his absence, has made it a little bit easier for Najee to get some running lanes. And I was looking earlier when a team has a 10-point lead or more in the second half, the Bills rank dead last in the league in yards per attempt allowed to running backs, 6 yards per carry allowed by the Bills. So I think they just back off a bit. They don't stack the box. They will allow some, chunk plays to Najee Harris. I think the Steelers might try to lean on the run a little bit in the second half to, potentially keep it close, kill some clock. So Najee Harris seems like a play to me, but I want to know what the model says.
Grant, what is the lowest number we have on Najee Harris?
51.5 over
we see
at
that
FanDuel.
at FanDuel, and we have 64.5% to the over. So we're locking that in right now. That is a must bet now.
What do we think of Warren? He's currently sitting at 24 rushing yards. 37 is the best available line, 37.5.
37.5 on Jaylen Warren. How many does he have right now?
24.
He has 24 rushing yards right now. We're showing 50-50 on that.
Oh, okay.
Pretty close, like 51% to the over, so not enough to beat the juice. But the Najee Harris bet, over 51.5 rushing yards, is... You should bet this now, if and when it unlocks.
It's over at FanDuel at the moment, too. But it'll be up here on the board in a second. Not going to change too much unless they end up scoring here. That could potentially go up 1 or 2 yards just because of the closer game script.
Yeah.
But you should be able to get it here pretty quickly when it comes back on the board after this play. What do you guys think about any of the Bills' passing attacks? So the line has moved drastically for Josh Allen since that blocked field goal, obviously being 24-0 compared to potentially 21-7 is a massive change in game script. We've seen the Bills rush at a massive clip to close out games if they need to. That could be a spot where they're doing it here. Now the line's up to 238.5 for Josh Allen passing yards, currently sitting at 131. So I could see some value on that under there, and you actually have a 20-yard difference between DraftKings and FanDuel right now.
Where is DraftKings at?
It just moved.
It moved up.
Yeah, they're at 215. If I had it opened, I was about to go for a 20-yard middle.
Yeah.
But, 215 over at MGM at the moment.
Yeah, we have for Josh Allen's live projection 213.
All right, so let's roll with the under at 234.5 over at DK right now.
Under 234.5 at DraftKings for Josh Allen's passing yards. I'm going to pop that in real quick to the model. I definitely know we're showing undervalue. I just want to know the percentage. 63% to the under on Josh Allen's passing yards.
I would say that first down was huge just now.
Yes,
I think the Steelers will try to kill some clock here. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen might have the ball in the 2-minute offense for a minute or so.
Yeah.
So we might need to survive that. But if the Steelers can get a couple run plays here, the Bills only have 1 timeout.
Yeah.
If we get this down below 30 seconds, maybe the Bills are content. They kneel it down.
Yes.
Could be some even more value here.
I agree.
Yeah, well, especially with the cold weather. I know it's not nearly as bad as it was going to be yesterday. But they probably don't want a chance. They clearly have this game in hand at the moment. But, 2 different plays changed the entirety of the game. That interception in the end zone and then that blocked field goal obviously changed things drastically. But still a game that they should have in hand. Football, anything can happen, but... what about over on the Steelers receiving side of things? Freiermuth has been solid so far. 2 receptions, 45 yards, has 4 targets at the moment. His live line is sitting at 56.5 pretty much everywhere. What's the model have to say about that?
We have 58.5% to the over.
Ooh, let's hit it.
Yeah.
Let's hit it.
We're going
Minus
right
108 over at FanDuel is the best odds.
Pat Fryermuth, that's right? 58.5? Okay. Just making
56.5.
56.5, Pat Fryermuth. 58% to the over is what I was saying. 58.5% to the over on 56.5 receiving yards for Pat Fryermuth. So make sure to grab that right now. Grant's in line, the model's in line. We have to take that right away. By the way, Sean mentioned that Najee Harris over on rushing yards. The Steelers do have the ball here. Obviously, a great thing for them would be to get a rushing touchdown here through Najee Harris, although they do pass it in for a touchdown to Deontay Johnson, which makes this a 21-6, waiting on the extra point try, potentially 7 game. That would close it up a little bit. And guys, I think I remember this game being a luck over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
We're doing okay on that one. So yeah.
I'd say so. It's at halftime now. I'm looking for any receiving props that we might want to hit. Stephon Diggs is currently sitting at 58.5 or 61.5. He's currently at 29 yards at the moment. I don't know if I have a big lean. I was just wanting to hear what the model has to say.
On Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
Let me pop those numbers in. I was trying to update the live line here with the touchdown. So feed me those numbers again.
So Lions currently sitting at 61 or 58.5, depending on where you're at. He's currently at 29 yards receiving.
29 yards, and the Lions at 61.5. We have, that doesn't work because I put that in rushing yards, not receiving yards. We have 66% to the under.
Let's roll with it. I'm trusting the model
Have to
there.
survive this drive.
We do.
But
we do.
It's factoring that in. So
Yeah, it's factoring that in. If it gets to the second half, it'll be more like 70% to the under.
Yeah, exactly. So gonna need him to not catch a ball this drive, but that's part of the bet.
Yeah, that is part of the bet. Is betting and sweating what happens live here on Bet What Happens Live. We're gonna hope that Stephon Diggs isn't the go-to guy here in terms of yardage, but we are showing, like I said, around 65% value to the under, 70% if we get to the second half without another reception for Stephon Diggs. So resetting here real quick. Bills are up 21-7. That's a 14-point lead. Currently, the money line has the Bills minus 20,000 and the Steelers 30-1 on the money line. 20.5 spread and a total of 48.5. Any thoughts potentially on a side or a total live? I'm not really there because I've already bet the side and the total in this game due to the luck rankings.
Yeah, I'm probably staying away. If I had a lean, it would actually be the Steelers, but it's not enough a lean to be the juice here, so I'm likely staying away. I'm just looking at props mostly right now, and an interesting one that we could hit right now if we're going to. Kincaid, 63.5 is his receiving prop, currently sitting at 49. Was going to hit it, probably would want to do it on this drive. If I was going to go the over, which is kind of what I'm leaning towards. Diggs gets a reception there, not great for us, but still going to be a good bet on the under. So if you haven't hit that yet, factor that in.
He's hurt. He's down.
And Stephon Diggs is down, hurt, unfortunately.
His line is still up at FanDuel and DraftKings for some reason. So we might be a little delayed. It might look like he's fine.
Yeah, we're going to be around 30 or so seconds delayed from most of you out there. But Stephon Diggs did get a catch there, but currently not looking 100% after that tackle. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But you were talking about Dalton Kincaid, right?
Yep.
And he is at 49 receiving yards right now.
63.5 is his line.
And the line is 63.5. We're actually showing value on the under here.
Ooh. Well, how much value?
59% to the under.
So 64.5. Let's roll with the under then.
64.5 under?
Yeah, at DK.
So if you go over to DraftKings, they have 64.5 right now on Dalton Kincaid. Under 64.5 receiving yards. That's the next bet we are taking here on Bet What Happens Live. So Sean, want to get your thoughts?
Yeah.
Minute 15 or so for the Bills. They have the ball. They also will start with the ball in the second half, I believe. Or yes, they will be starting with the ball in the second half. So this is a good opportunity potentially for some Bills overs, even though we took Kincaid's under and Stephon Diggs under. What do you think?
Well, I'm sweating my Dawson Knox under 15.5, so I'm not going there.
Sure.
I'm looking at the running backs. I also have Latavius Murray under 9.5. That might be a sweat, but I think the back, if they do get up big and they start leaning on the run and they kind of want to limit James Cook, start saving him for next round, I think Ty Johnson will actually be the back. They don't have any props up for him right now, but I'm looking to see. It could be somewhere around 11.5, 12.5. So if that pops up, I would like the over there, just knowing that he'll likely see most of the early down work.
Yes.
Latavius Murray, he's been in on about 7 plays, but they're all passing plays. So he's typically, the backup running back on passing downs, whereas Ty Johnson's more the lead back on early downs if they want to limit James Cook. So he's somebody I'm monitoring right now. I would love his over, but they haven't offered it quite yet.
Yeah, if Ty Johnson starts getting snaps and getting some carries, especially if this game were to open up a little further in the Bills' favor, then we definitely could see some books starting to put up some Ty Johnson props. So be on the lookout for that, and if you see something, like Sean was saying, over 8.5, over 9.5, potentially take that on Ty Johnson. So 2 seconds left in the half here. 2nd and 17 for the Bills.
Just kneel it.
We're probably in the spot here where you should just kneel it out, which means, if that were the case, and looking at the live odds here, obviously the Bills massively favored, in the 99% range favored in terms of the money line. But what we have projected based off of that is the Steelers will be passing around 18% more than their pregame projection, and the Bills will be running about 12% more than their pregame projection. So it doesn't go down as much for the Bills and the rushing side of things as it does increasing for the Steelers by 18% passing. But even then, we were still showing value on Najee Harris's over.
Yes. One guy, real quick, that I want to look at is Mason Rudolph. I'm just curious where we have the model for him, because he's a player, I don't think it's a 100% chance he finishes the game. They still have Kenny Pickett. So if he's struggling, there's a non-zero chance that he does get benched for Kenny Pickett. So
absolutely,
if we're already showing some slight value on his under, I would just say there might be 5-7% more value on his under just due to potential benching. Like his floor is much lower right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not showing value on his under. We have value on his over, but add in the potential benching factor, you can't really take the over there either. So I think we're just going to have to pass on Mason Rudolph's passing yard prop.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad call here. You guys feel like looking at some interception props?
I
guess
love
we could factor that in.
Props.
All right.
Yeah.
Rudolph, current best line, -105 on the over, -125 on the under.
We were right in line with that projection. We're right in the middle of both of those.
All right, Josh Allen, +260 on the over, -360 on the under.
We're at +345, so -345 isn't enough to get the -360 either. So, Sean, sometimes your projections are a little too good.
Or the books. Like, the market's pretty sharp right now.
Exactly. Especially in the interception props. So nothing there, but we are at halftime. Grant, you know what we love to do at halftime.
We like to
Fire
throw in
some
some
touchdown
touchdown bets.
Let's do it.
Let's get to it. I'm just looking for some discrepancy here. Anything that's going to stand out. Pickens, +650 over at FanDuel seems a little interesting.
We have to roll with that. We're at +550.
Ooh,
so
okay.
+650 versus +550. I'm actually betting that right now.
Beautiful. Throw it on the board. Half unit or full unit?
Let's do a half unit.
Yeah, it's probably the safer play.
Safer play, but we are showing some pretty significant value. +550 to +650 is a good amount away.
Hopefully it's a long touchdown. We still have the under 3.5 receptions for our parlay. But that's George Pickens' game. So,
exactly.
An 80-yard touchdown.
He's had a whole bunch of 70-yard touchdowns this year or longer.
Exactly.
So, yeah, absolutely. George Pickens could catch one long pass and get a touchdown and stay under the 3.5 receptions we had pregame.
Totally fine.
From Action Island. So, I like it. What else are you seeing there for anytime touchdowns, Grant?
Freiermuth sitting at +1,000 isn't looking terrible. FanDuel has some... We've seen this before. FanDuel is kind of boosting almost every single Steelers line compared to other sites. So I'm just kind of looking at the ones that are... It's
too thin, I think, to take it. We're at +980. So 10-1, that's within the range of error bars. So I don't think we can really take that one.
I want to hear what Kroner has to say about this. I will never get your ride.
Kerner.
I was talking about the Danish
Danish Kroner?
Yeah, I know. He's been calling me that all weekend.
Or Norwegian. Yeah, no, and it's sorry, it's probably just
It's
stuck now.
Yeah, no, you can just call me that. That's my nickname now.
All right, perfect. But Ty Johnson, plus 1,800. It just dropped to plus 1,700.
I love that. I love that.
Still like it at 1,700. I mean, like I said, he is going to be the early down back when James Cook is getting a breather or, garbage time. So
I think we have to take it, given we have 16-1 as fair value, and that doesn't account for the fact that maybe he gets an uptick in usage.
Yeah.
Which
Plus
if
Bill
we do,
starting with the ball in the first
Yeah.
second half.
So
let's roll with it.
Ty Johnson, anytime touchdown. I believe you said 17-1. I'm clicking over here to make sure I can grab this.
I think it just dropped to 16-1. So
Yeah, they're on to
So
it.
it's right on the edge of
1,800.
that.
1,800 now.
Ty Johnson, 1,800 at DraftKings.
FanDuel.
FanDuel. I have it open right now, and I see 15. So
Oh,
I think we just moved the line.
So
So I'm fine with if you want to take 15-1, even though we're technically not showing value on it, because there is the possibility, a non-zero probability, that his pregame usage that we would have to have mentally projected in would uptick. So totally fine with that if you want to take Ty Johnson. And now he is 18-1. So
there
happy
it
to
is.
take him there at
Yes.
18-1. It just updated. FanDuel has dropped him from 15
What
to
a
18.
wild ride the last
Yeah.
10 seconds have been.
Exactly. So Ty Johnson, 18-1 at FanDuel. We're going to throw a quarter unit on that one. I like it a lot. So we have touchdown bets on Ty Johnson and George Pickens right now for the anytime touchdown market. Anything else you see in there on touchdowns, Grant?
Interesting, Najee Harris, plus 375 over at ESPN. Seems like it could potentially be a tad bit high, sitting at 230, 260. Most other spots, 320 over on FanDuel. So mostly be ESPN if the model is showing value. I'm not in love with it. I don't hate it.
The model is definitely not showing value.
All right, then I will. What about Warren at plus 500? Could get some more passing
Jalen
down
Warren,
work.
plus 500, no value there as well, per the model. Again, obviously you're always willing and able to go against the model, and you're usually right when you do.
Yeah.
But I'm just letting you know the model is not showing value.
Yeah, I'm not full on board. Even James Cook sitting at plus 400 over at FanDuel is interesting.
Yeah, we have value on that at plus 355, so 4-1 I think makes a lot of sense
That
on
is
James Cook.
very much
Yeah.
over.
And I actually really
FanDuel
like
one.
covering both James Cook and Ty Johnson, because the Bills
Yeah.
are ahead by 14, and they're expected to continue to be the team that scores more than the Steelers. You think on the ground is a very good opportunity for them. So having both running backs by taking, let's say, half a unit on James Cook at 4-1, which we are doing right now, and then having that quarter unit on Ty Johnson assures that if they get a rushing touchdown that isn't Josh Allen, or I guess Latavius Murray, but I don't think it will be.
Yeah,
we're
that is
probably gonna hit
strictly
it.
FanDuel. Everywhere else is at plus 225, plus 130 over at Caesar. So don't get it at plus 130. That's just a bad decision right there. Looking at any other ones, I'm not seeing any. This is mildly interesting. We can go with a third running back, Latavius Murray, plus 4,500 at FanDuel. He's plus 1,500 everywhere else.
Ooh, it better be a catch.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a receiving
Okay.
one.
Then
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I want to hear what the model has to say because
Yeah, let's hear what the model has to say.
I actually don't
first.
even have the model ready for that.
Okay,
So
perfect.
the model doesn't exist
I-
on this one.
I'm throwing
no
0.1
interest in-
units on it.
Grant,
One
Grant is
at
taking
All right,
plus
this is
4,500.
All
Grant
right.
is taking it, and I'm sorry, I'm going to roll with it. I'm rolling with it. I need to cover the Bills' touchdowns. 0.1 units, Latavius Murray, 45-1 anytime touchdown. We're covering the Bills' rushing touchdowns other than Josh Allen.
Well, again,
I'll
Murray's
allow-
going to be receiving.
Yo, 1 yard touchdown. That's
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
Yep.
That's fine. I'll allow
I'm
that.
with you. I hammered that under 9.5
All right,
rushing
then we're in
yards.
agreement. All right.
But we need,
It's gonna make it tight.
we need
We need.
a 1 yard touchdown.
Okay.
Need it. So, guys, we've got some anytime touchdown bets. We've got some receiving, rushing prop bets. Honestly, I think we're good here. I know we haven't finished halftime, but we've made so many bets already that I'm ready to go sweat the bets.
Yes.
But we will be back at the 2-minute warning of the second game of today's doubleheader between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, for Grant Neefer of Scores and Odds, for Sean Kerner, I'm Nick Giffen. We'll see you back at the 2-minute warning in just a few hours. Good luck with your bets, everybody, and enjoy the game.